Today's Washington Redskins versus LA Raiders preseason game is brought to you in parts by Hefty. Our new strength is value. By Nestea Iced Tea. By Nissan, setting the pace. And by the Washington Post. The Washington Post. If you don't get it, you don't get it.
At the LA Coliseum with the Washington Redskins looking for preseason victory number 1 on top of the LA Raiders 21-7. Welcome back, everybody. Steve Buckhantz with you. It was a wild first half, one that saw the Redskin offense not able to get in gear because the defense, quite frankly, was on the field for most of the time. Jay Schrader led the Raiders along with Eric Dickerson, who had close to 80 yards rushing in the first half, led them downfield, but Schrader's first attempt at a pass was intercepted. And our scoring summary is brought to you by your Washington area Ford dealers. And here it is, Jay Schrader, who gets picked off by Martin Mayhew. And Mayhew battling back there in the defensive secondary for a starting spot and doing a terrific job, returns at 33 yards. And the Redskins, with about a minute 55 to go in the first quarter, led 7-0. On the very next play after the kickoff, it happened again. Jay Schrader throws left side for Mervin Fernandez, and look at Martin Mayhew in perfect position, leaps up and makes the grab, and Mayhew returns this one 25 yards. And Schrader at this point was 5 of 8 with 3 interceptions. The Redskins led 14-0 with a minute 43 to play in the first quarter. The Raiders then marched downfield, and they did end up getting a touchdown. Here's the score by Los Angeles. After Eric Dickerson ran for 79 yards, Nick Bell gets in for the touchdown. And with 10:20 to go in the first half, the Raiders were on the scoreboard, and they trailed 14-7. But on the kickoff return, Brian Mitchell took the ball, and watch him go. Mitchell, with some great blocking, cuts it up the left side, finds an opening, and he is just gone, outrunning everybody, 97 yards. At this point, the Raiders had 156 yards of total offense. The Skins had 0. You don't count the returns in total offense. And it was 21-7 Redskins with 10 minutes, 3 seconds to go in the second quarter. Now, the next 2 Redskins scoring opportunities came in the form of Chip Lohmiller attempted field goals. Lohmiller tried one from 38 yards out. It was a high snap with Matt Elliott snapping, and he wasn't able to get it through. It was wide to the right. Then Lohmiller came back to try one from 54 yards out. This one did have plenty of leg, and it was pretty accurate, but it hit the right upright, and he probably could have kicked it from 60 yards. So Lohmiller 0 for 2 from the field goal department, but the Redskins looking for their first win of the preseason. And they lead right now 21-7 as both teams make their way back onto the field here at the LA Coliseum. You know, about a week or so ago, it was 105 degrees out here in Los Angeles, and this is what's known as a real break in the weather. It's in the high 80s right now with no humidity and a nice breeze blowing. So these guys have really gotten a break, especially the Redskins, who have not been playing under very humid and hot conditions. And while it's hot out here, it's not nearly as bad as it's been the past couple of weeks. 21-7 the score at halftime. Now let's send you back up to Dick Stockton, John Riggins, and Bobby Mitchell.
All right, Buck, thank you very much. So let's see what Joe Gibbs has in mind for the second half as far as his starting offense. Beiner carried the ball 9 times for 21 yards. The only receiver who caught a pass was Terry Orr. That was 1. Rippon was 1 for 5. So obviously the offense didn't get any kind of work. The views of you guys right now.
Well, there was no rhythm. It's impossible to get a rhythm. They were not on the field enough to do so. You saw the offensive line stumbling a little bit there. One time I even saw Jacoby on a 4 block coming into the line behind the running back, behind Bein. So the rhythm is off. I mean, and they need to stay in there and get some of that done.
Yeah, this hasn't been a good game for the Redskins offensively, only because they haven't been on the field. And they got the ball late in the second quarter, really, and they put some points on the board. No, I take that back. They missed the field goal attempt. They just haven't got the job done yet, and that's what they're waiting to do this second half. They've got to come out with the regulars, I would have to believe, and try to get a good fit out there with the defensive people.
Well, the Redskins will get the ball to start the second half. Raiders ran off 40 plays offensively. It's a lot of plays for a half. The Redskins had only 7 yards passing. When was the last time you saw that? Eric Dickerson, 93 yards in 20 carries. Boy, I'd be surprised if he plays a good deal, if at all, in the second half.
Well, they've got to take it easy with him, let the other guys have the ball. But again, what we said earlier, that this Raider offense have nothing to be sorry about here now. They're played pretty good.
Well, it's just as Steve was pointing out at the halftime show, is that there were a couple of big mistakes by Schrader. I don't know. The first one will give him the benefit of the doubt, but the second one was a mistake of his. And the defense put 14 points on the board.
Jeff Jager kicks it off, heading for Robert Green at the 1-yard line or the goal line. Green, the rookie from William and Mary. Sutter steps his way to the 20-yard line, where Mike Jones makes the tackle. And the Redskins go on offense, leading in the game 21-7.
That's a case of a rookie wanting to make this team. He goes over and takes the ball from the veteran on the return. That's really something, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what, he's the guy really to keep your eye on, because more than likely, I was speaking with Don Bro, the backfield offensive back coach, before the game, and he feels that they're probably going to keep 4 backs. They have 5 right now. Robert Green has certainly impressed everybody, and there's one thing that they say about him: he's a very, very smart football player, which makes your odds of making Joe Gibbs' team a lot better. 1st and 10 on the 20. Ricky Irvin starts out as the running back, and the pass wide open out of the backfield is Terry Orr. So penalty markers fly after Orr is stopped at the 31-yard line. Maybe the 32 would be a first down. Torrin Dorn making the tackle for the Raiders, but a penalty.
Well, I tell you something that's kept my eye. Ray Brown, who's playing that left guard, who we've been waiting on for 2 years, has played very steady, has not made very much of any mistakes there. So I think that Hannafin over there has got to be pretty happy about that. Well, right now, as we were saying earlier, Jim Lachey's out of camp. They've got to get the right people at the right positions right now. And this experiment seems to be working, although we haven't seen enough of the offense to determine that.
First down, no penalty marker, apparently. And here's Gary Clark on it sort of as a safety valve and dives forward. Good alert play by Clark, and goes out of bounds shy of midfield. It'll be another first down for the Redskins, so that's 2 first downs in a row.
Well, I think that's a play that makes Gary Clark such a great player, really. Rippon drops back here. I think we're going to see this. Rippon drops back here. He looks downfield. He's got good protection. He can't find anybody, but out of the corner of his eye, he sees Clark over there all by himself. Now, Clark, this is what he does so well. He fakes out 2 guys right here, and he ends up getting another 5 yards. Really a great play by Gary.
17-yard pickup at all, so Rippon has the Redskins at the line of scrimmage just short of midfield in the early moments of this 3rd quarter. Rippon's pass is caught by Orr and hit immediately by Aaron Wallace, the linebacker, and a short gain on the play of just a couple of yards, but the Redskins get into Raider territory.
John, I don't believe Terry Orr can believe he's getting this number of passes. H-back just don't get that many passes.
Right.
He's got to love this.
Todd Marinovich is warming up, and so it's apparent that Marinovich will be in and should hear the cheers from the Raider crowd the next time they get the ball. Second down and 8. And on the draw play, Ricky Irvin's going outside, and Irvins gets another first down for the Redskins and spins his way inside the 40-yard line. Derek Hoskins makes the tackle. He put a pretty good move on Hoskins, who recovered, but Ricky Irvins has a first down at the 39-yard line, a pickup of 11.
Well, he's used to this stadium. Hometown boy makes good.
Irvins played at USC. Back here at the Coliseum. So did Calvin Holmes, who is expected to play in the secondary, the Redskin rookie, 7th-round draft pick. Offensive line, same way it started with the game. McKenzie, Brown, Bostic, Schlereth, and Jacoby. And the give is to Irvins. Gets by one potential tackler and fights his way inside the 35-yard line. Anthony Smith making the tackle for the Raiders.
Nice hole there, I think, that was created by Joe Jacoby. He does a good job. That was that off-tackle play. There's a big crease on the inside. Irvin sees it, screwed through the hole for
See this? Those are little sprays that line on top, spraying both sidelines, and apparently you don't feel the mist when it gets to you. But this is a new way of cooling people off on the sideline.
It's supposed to cool that area about 20 degrees. I was informed that by the doctors when they were pulling my leg before the game.
They might have been, Jim. 20 degrees is a lot of degrees. Need some ice there. Penalty marker down as Irvins tries to test the left side and doesn't do much. Dave Waymer, the veteran defensive back who came over from the 49ers, and this may be against the Raiders, and it is a defensive penalty. Boy, the Raiders really pick him up, don't they? Dave Waymer, who had played with the Saints most of his career, and the 49ers lately. Dickerson, the new face on that team.
Andre Bruce.
From
offsides on the defense, number 56, lined up in the neutral zone.
Chester McLaughlin, number 1 draft pick out of Clemson, who was the 16th player picked in the draft by the Raiders. A defensive tackle, has not been in there. He has a sprained foot.
I would think actually Mark Rippon will probably stay in this game until he feels comfortable with the work that he's gotten for the afternoon. I'm not sure that really Coach Gibbs would have that much influence over a decision to take him out.
1st and 10 for the Redskins on the Raider 27. Here is Irvins, and Irvins gets a yard, that's all, and Bob Golick. How long has he been around? The veteran defensive lineman brings Irvins down in a hurry.
You know, John, extending on what you just said, I would imagine as long as McKenzie and Ray Brown on that left side continue to hold their own, there's no reason to take him out of there. Let him get to work. He's rusty, and he needs that work.
Well, that's a good point. If they start, if the floodgates start opening up, I imagine they'll get him off the field.
Protection kind of broke down in the second half last week. No sacks, but pressure on the Redskin quarterback. Now Art Monk goes in motion on 2nd and 10. Deep drop by Rippon. Dumps it off to Ricky Irvins. Irvins to the 20-yard line. Down the middle of the field. Bounces off one defender. Still on his feet. And finally stopped at the 7-yard line. He bounced off of Dave Waymer and kept going and winds up with a 21-yard gain off of the screen pass. Ricky Ellison and Bob Golick finally bring down Ricky Irvins.
Well, all his buddies up here in the stands are very excited. Little man gets the ball, and boy, he shows why he made this team in a big way last year.
Well, that's actually the very same kind of play that he made the team with last year. He was catching passes out of the backfield just like that, about 2 or 3 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, and turned them into 25 and 30-yard gains. He has, I'll tell you what, I think I can speak particularly from experience with me, but that took a lot out of Ricky Irvins. All that stopping and starting and then cutting back and forth is a heck of a lot different just running a straight line.
And as a result, he leaves the game. Ernest Beiner comes in, and here is the pass to the end zone off the fingertips of Gary Clark under the goalpost. Terry McDaniel was covering on the play. Back to Ricky Irvins with Gerald Riggs being waived. Irvins would be the chief man, I would think, for the short yardage situation.
I think that's what the coaches have indicated, that he'll pick up that, inherit that job. By the way, Rip got a little bit of pressure right there. Bob Golick got in the backfield and knocked him down. First time we've seen that today.
9:04 remaining in the 3rd quarter. It'll be 2nd down and goal. Redskins lead 21-7. Stopped from behind, and it was Tom Benson. Anthony Smith got to him first and had him from behind. So it'll be 3rd and goal.
It appears really that the Redskins running backs have evolved into a certain body type, really. I think you could take Robert Green, Ricky Irvins, and Ernest Beiner, and if they were looking the other way, I think that they almost look like clones, really. They're basically the same body type.
That's right.
Low center of gravity, very powerful, strong legs.
3rd down and goal at the 5, and Irvins is back in the game, coming out of the backfield as a receiver, and here's the pass, and it's thrown away. Mark Rippon had no receivers open, so he smartly threw the ball away, and that'll bring up 4th down, and Chip Lohmiller, who has missed 2 long field goal attempts, including a 54-yard attempt that hit the upright and bounced back onto the field, will come in for him a chip shot. Jeff Rutledge will hold. It'll be a 22-yard attempt. He has missed from 38 and 54 yards. But Lohmiller is successful from 22, and the Redskins add to their lead with 8 minutes and 13 seconds remaining in the third quarter. It is now 24-7 in favor of the Redskins. Wayne Sevier, I know you make this Redskin team on how you perform primarily on special teams. I see John Settle among others out there on this kickoff.
John's getting a chance on this one. I'm putting Chad Fortune in. We got a bunch of young guys. Robert Green will take one more on this, and then I'll get him out of there. So some guys getting a chance here.
Cut down is Tuesday. The Redskins have to go from 80 to 60, so 20 will have to be let go by that date. This kick goes out of bounds, and the Raiders will take over on the 35-yard line, as Lohmiller's kick went out of bounds. I mentioned John Settle. He's one of 5 running backs remaining. Green, of course, the much heralded rookie.
To me, it's really kind of a big question here as to who are they going to let go at running back. I really don't think anybody will be let go. I think we'll end up with somebody on the.
Todd Marinovich is in at quarterback, but first we'll take this break. Maybe the people's choice. They always like the guy that's not in there. Todd Marinovich is in at quarterback for the Raiders. He has completed 50% of his passes so far in preseason. 24-48, no TDs, no interceptions. Out of USC, Marcus Allen and Steve Smith in the backfield. 24-7 the Redskins, and Marinovich has all day to throw, and he completes the pass into Redskin territory to Ethan Horton, his tight end. That's the way to get the crowd on your side. A gain of 22 yards.
Well, I think there might be more Trojan fans here than there are Bruin fans. Jay Schrader went to UCLA. Yeah, he's got all kinds of time. Not much of a pass rush here, which you really can't allow any quarterback. I don't care if he is a rookie to have that much time to look what's going on downfield, because they're going to complete some passes on you.
And a first down on the Redskin 43. Out of the I formation, and here is Marcus Allen. Tripped up and picks up a couple of yards. Kurt Gouveia in the middle making the stop. Marcus Allen, the all-time leading rusher for the Raiders. Gouveia starting. Of course, the Redskins feel that they prefer Gouveia, if Raven Caldwell were healthy, to come off the bench. He is more effective as an impact guy, like John Havlicek was to the Celtics as a sixth man. But he can start.
Well, he's right. His preference is really to cover the pass, I think. And with Caldwell out now temporarily, we hope, he's going to get a chance to play from 1st and 10.
Second down out of the backfield. The pass complete to Marcus Allen. Did he fumble? And no, they say it was blown dead at the 35-yard line. Wilbur Marshall with a strong hit.
You know, it's not too many guys in this league can run those coverage control routes like Marcus can. He can hurt you. He's going to be very, very important to the Raiders later on in the year.
He was a holdout, and then when he came back, hurt his foot. So this is his first action of preseason.
Well, I talked to him in the shoot earlier when he was coming out. He feels real good. He feels there's nothing wrong with him now. He can turn it on.
3rd down and 2 on the 35 of the Redskins. Marinovich getting pressure. And his pass is caught. That'll be a first down. Forward progress will be the 30-yard line. Marinovich got it done amazingly enough. And the pass is caught by Darrell Hobbs, who goes in the game as the leading receiver for the Raiders.
Well, he got a lot of pressure on him, and he stayed in there and got that ball off. And I tell you something, when you're looking at a young quarterback, some of the things that you look for is field vision. He saw a lot of people moving around and still managed to get that ball off. He showed a touch when he saw it, and quick release. Those are the kinds of things a young quarterback must have. And the last things, he must have courage, and he stayed right in there and got that ball off.
Hobbs, the rookie receiver. You saw Mayhew make the tackle, and they picked up the blitz by Wilbur Marshall effectively. And a fake pitch, and Marinovich with time goes up the middle, and another completion inside the 15-yard line, and that one is to number 85. Sam Grady, the former Olympic speedster.
Well, that's something that's not going to make Richie Pettibone very happy because they're really just chewing the Redskin defense up right now. There's not much of a pass rush here. It's a little play-action pass. Charles Mann trying to put some pressure on, but he has enough time. There's a man open, and you have a big completion.
22-yard gain. Marinovich moving this team. Danny Copeland on the tackle. It'll be 1st and goal at the 8 for the Raiders. They've got the crowd going here. Grady goes in motion. And here is Marcus Allen, tucked inside to about the 3-yard line. Well, this crowd is turned on by Marinovich and Allen. A.J. Johnson on the stop. It'll be 2nd down.
The old and the new.
Well, there was classic Marcus Allen right there. He takes the ball, gets the handoff here. He looks like he's going to go outside and just turns it back upfield and lets the Redskin defender slip on by him.
Redskins bring in the goal line defense, including Jason Buck, number 99. It'll be 2nd down and goal at the 3-yard line. And they give us to Allen, dives to the 1. It'll be 3rd and goal. Govea right in the middle.
Well, I have to agree with Marcus's assessment, according to you, Bobby, that all phases of his game seem to be strong. He's got that little fadeaway move back inside, and he's still got the dive working very well. If he go over the pile right there, which is one of his trademarks on the goal line.
So Todd Marinovich has put a spark into the Raiders on the first series for L.A. here in the 3rd quarter. 3:25 remaining in the quarter. And here is Marcus Allen, goes in untouched for the touchdown. What do you think the fans like at quarterback if we took a quick poll now?
I think they like the young man.
Marcus Allen with a 1-yard touchdown run, and Steve Smith with a crunching block to free him. And Marinovich was a perfect 4 for 4 for 55 yards, gentlemen, on that drive.
Some tough passes he had to throw, too.
Jeff Jaeger will attempt the point after with the punter Gossett holding. Kick is perfect. So with 3 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter, it's now the Redskins 24 and the Raiders 14. Outstanding job by Todd Marinovich at quarterback. 8 plays and 65 yards, and the Redskin lead cut to 10, and here's how they scored, John.
Yeah, this is Marcus Allen. He takes it. The play's supposed to go inside, but really the big crease, the Redskins, I think, kind of have seen this play before. I think they've defended against it all week in practice. Allen reads it and bounces it outside.
Jaeger's kickoff. Robert Green and Joe Johnson are back deep, and this will be Johnson on the return. Lunges his way to the 22-yard line, where the Redskins will go to work. We'll check out to see who will come out offensively for the Skins. And it'll be Harry Conklin at quarterback. We'll return in a moment. Back here at the Coliseum, Dick Stockton, Bobby Mitchell, and John Riggins. Changes for the Redskins on the offensive line. Ray Brown is now the left guard, as he has been throughout the game. Ed Simmons is now at left tackle. Rookie Matt Elliott of Michigan is the center. Mark Schlereth is the right guard, and Joe Jacoby is the right tackle. Rich Wilkins, the tight end. And the running back is Ricky Urbans, who carries on 1st down and gets to the 25, where Willie Broughton makes the tackle. So Harry Conklin is the quarterback now for the Redskins. He's had an impressive preseason.
He really has. I think he's had a great preseason. He had a good one last year, but I think this one has even been better. He came into camp. He's got a lot of experience from a year on the sidelines, learning what's going on, and he really seems to be able to put that year of knowledge to practical use on the field.
And new wide receiver Stephen Hobbs, who came into the game as the leading receiver in preseason for the Redskins, and Ricky Sanders seeing action for the first time today. 2nd down and 6. And the screen pass is not going to work. Ricky Urbans had Anthony Bell the former Phoenix Cardinal, all over his back. And a loss on the play.
I don't think Conklin possibly saw Bell there, because that was could have been a little bit of a scary play. Irvins really doesn't have a chance on this. See, Conklin's looking downfield, and then it's kind of a knee-jerk reaction for him. He turns and fires it out there in the flat. That linebacker should have never been there.
Mark Rippon, 5 for 10 and 61 yards for the Redskins in his time. 3rd down and 14. Conklin with a designed roll to the left, looking for a target, and it is nearly intercepted off the hands of 2 Raider defenders. First it was Dave Waymer, and then it was Torrin Dorn. But the incompletion, no Redskin receivers in sight, brings up 4th down.
Well, Conklin has played great all summer. One thing he don't want to do here is regress. And these are some of the things that you don't want to see a young quarterback do in this situation.
Right, that's the worst ball I've seen him throw in preseason, I think. It was just a real poor decision. It wasn't even a particularly good pass.
Kelly Goodburn will be kicking, and Napoleon McCallum, former midshipman, back deep for the Raiders. Good kick by Goodburn, but it's buffed by McCallum, and he recovered his own muff. It is not a fumble since he never had full possession, but the Raiders will retain the ball at the 41-yard line. You know, Joe Gibbs complained, and rightfully so, about how the Redskins' second half seemed to wither from their efforts in the first half in preseason, and so this is an important 30 minutes for them, and so far they haven't come out that strong.
Yeah. Well, what normally happens, he's gone to his depth, as we talked about, the assumed depth, and he has not, and they have not played very well.
Penalty marker down. Conference on the field. Apparently against the Redskins by all indications, since there are 3 black jerseys pointing and no Redskins around the referee.
Holding on the kicking team before the kick.
That was a very
10-yard penalty to keep 4th down.
Knowing
They always are,
well, maybe 20%. Holding penalty.
Well, that's a racing shirt I think Coach Gibbs has on.
Yeah.
I think they wore that at Daytona, I believe.
Well, he should be wearing it then.
Exactly. That should be on the end of a stick, I believe, and flagging cars as they go by.
You mean that's a checkered flag he has wearing?
I tell you what, I'll follow him to his leader someplace. I tell you, I'm being mesmerized by it.
Brawley McKenzie is guilty of holding, and so Goodburn will be kicking from about 6 yards in his end zone, and McCallum will have another chance after botching that first attempt. There's a view from behind Goodburn. And it's a low kick. Low snap, I should say, but Goodburn does a good job of recovering. McCallum could have a good return. He's in Redskin territory, 35-yard line, and inside the 30.
I don't remember McCallum being such a husky lad when he left the Naval Academy, was he?
He gained quite a lot of weight.
He certainly appears to have.
James Jenkins on the tackle, and the return by McCallum was 21 yards. All right, that could have been disastrous on that snap. And that was Clark, who was the free agent, picked up for that purpose.
Didn't help his cause there, I don't believe.
And as a result of the holding penalty on McKenzie, Goodburn had a kick from his end zone, and now the Raiders have the ball in great field position, starting from the Redskin 25-yard line, 1st and 10. Marcus Allen and Steve Smith are the running backs for Todd Marinovich. Wide open, touchdown. And that's Sam Grady, untouched and uncovered, I might add. Well, there was a mistake.
Well,
Is that Martin Mayhew's man out there? I can't see from...
Martin Mayhew was over there, and we don't know what the call was. That was a defensive call, and someone missed it. And we'll have to, we'll have to wait and see what the coaches say about that.
Good heads-up play by Marinovich, though. He reads that there isn't anybody covering Grady, and easy touchdown.
Grady won the gold medal in the 400-meter relay and a silver medal in the 100-meter dash right here at the Coliseum in the '84 Olympics in Los Angeles. Jager's extra point is good, and the Redskin lead at 1 point, 21-7, has been cut to 24-21. Actually, it was 24-7, so 14 unanswered points by the Raiders with 1:03 to go in the third.
Well, I think this is a case now where Pettibone would pull those guys to the sideline, try to see what happened. There was a defensive call back there. Apparently, Edwards made a call that probably Mayhew didn't pick it up in time or something, because there's no way this receiver should come clear like that.
It looked like Mayhew was going to cover the flat, and he let the deep out pattern go, expecting help maybe from a safety, which never arrived.
Todd Marinovich accepting congratulations on the phone right now for what he has done since coming in the second half for Jay Schrader. Schrader was 9 for 18, 103 yards, but 3 critical interceptions. And Joe Gibbs now sees his Redskins stumble again in the second half, as they have the last 2 games.
I think that Coach Gibbs is looking for his team to actually look for individual effort and looking for players, units to play well. But at the same time, he's got to be concerned about this, to get off to such a big lead and then have the team come back on you. This is not indicative of a Washington Redskins football team, particularly a Super Bowl champion Washington Redskins football team.
24-21, Napoleon McCallum. Jeff Jager will kick off. Robert Green and Joe Johnson are back deep for the Redskins. And this will be Robert Green, downs it 5 yards in the end zone for a touchback. And the Skins will begin at the 20-yard line. Harry Conklin gets last-minute instructions from Joe Gibbs.
I think Conklin has played so well in the preseason. What he has to guard against now is a little bit of overconfidence and thinking that he can do more than he's capable of doing. I think that last pass that he threw indicates that he might be trying to go beyond what the plays are, who the people are that are open, and force things. And the next thing you know, you get yourself into trouble.
Mo Elowanibi, who did not practice this week, is in for Rollie McKenzie at left tackle. Under a minute to go in the quarter. First down at the 20. 3 tight ends. Penalty marker down, and Conklin's pass is caught at the 25-yard line by Ricky Sanders.
Yeah, well, this is a case of the offensive line we have in there now. At the left side, you keep noticing we keep bringing in more and more people at that left tackle. There must be an interchange there that Hannafin feels comfortable with, because if Lachey does not get in here pretty soon, those guys have got to man that position and protect the backside of Rippon. And to extend on something that John mentioned earlier, one thing that Conklin must not do is today try to compete with the #1 quarterback. He's the backup man, no matter how well he plays. So he should take it easy and keep playing the way he's been playing the early part of the season.
In other words, don't force the action.
Don't force the action, because you're not the #1 starter.
I think the only way Jim Hannafin's ever going to feel comfortable at that left side, though, is when he sees Jim Lachey coming into the dressing room this year.
Penalty was against the Raiders, 5 yards. 5 years is too long. First down and 5 at the 25-yard line.
You're meeting out judicial punishment here, Dick.
I know. I don't think I'm qualified. 24-21, the Redskins lead the Raiders. And there's Ricky Irvins breaking a tackle, and he'll get a first down just shy of the 40-yard line. Making the stop for the Raiders was Dave Waymer and Derek Hoskins from the secondary.
This is the off-tackle play, 40 gut. Irvins looks like he's on a track here. He just rounds the ball into the hole, and they're really a great job of drive blocking by the Redskins. Joe Jacoby and I believe Stress still in the game. Correct. Because, yeah, they really pushed the Raiders off the line that time.
Gain of 13 yards. And that'll be the last play of the third quarter. Well, the Raiders have come back. It's 24-21 after the third.
Today's Redskins versus Raiders preseason game is brought to you in part by Hefty. Our new strength is value. And by new Colders 29 and 29 Lights. Cold aged at 29 degrees to steal in smoothness. and by your Toyota dealers.
Back for the fourth quarter here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. Dick Stockton, John Riggins, and Bobby Mitchell. 24-21. The Redskins lead. They were up 24-7 in the third quarter. It's a first down on the 38-yard line of Washington. And Ricky Irvin's on the handoff, fights his way up close to the 45. And that will bring up second and about 3. Two H-backs or tight ends, Ron Middleton and Gary Wilkins. And Rich Wilkins is Gary Wilkins, a Plan B pickup from Atlanta. A.J. Jimerson on the tackle for the Raiders.
Well, there's one thing to keep in mind here. Coach Gibbs doesn't ever like to really be the favorite. He kind of likes being the underdog. And we really haven't seen him really come out with his explosive arsenal on offense. We've not seen 3 wide really today, and I don't think we're going to. I think he's saving a lot of his goodies for the Dallas game Monday night on September 7th.
Gary Wilkins in motion to the left. Second down and 4 on the Redskins' 44-yard line. Irvins finds a hole, gets the first down and more as he rambles his way into Raider territory to the 42-yard line. Derek Hoskins makes the tackle and a pickup that time of 14. Stephen Hobbs with a good block.
I think you'll see a good job here by Ed Simmons, too, as well. He pins his man there, and Irvins has got this ball going outside from the very beginning.
Well, this man Hobbs, we've been talking about, has put himself in a position that he would be pretty hard to be unseated here by anyone coming into this game. He is a part of the posse now.
First down on the Raider 42-yard line. Irvin's carried only 4 times in preseason coming into this game. He's carried 7 times for 53. Conklin drills it, and the pass is incomplete. Should have been caught, and it was Stephen Hobbs, the intended receiver, who was right there.
Just as I said something nice about you, Stephen, you got to pull those in. Don't short arm me.
Well, he hit him in a real bad place, Chad.
Well, it was a little thick in there, and a receiver has to know when he goes into there that he's going to get some blows, so he might as well catch the football.
That was the Gary Clark special right there.
Yeah, Gary would have caught that.
He just loves those passes right there. Yeah, he was starting to brace for the hit, I believe, before he caught the ball.
My partner up here, Bobby Mitchell, huh? You would have nabbed that one.
I would have pulled it in and then cried like a baby.
He'll hear about it in the meetings when they look at that film.
Second down and 10. From the 42, Conklin going underneath Sanders. And he should have a first down for the Skins with 13 minutes to go. Torrin Dorn on the tackle.
You know, John, a guy like Ricky Sanders has to really have great will, because to run up and down that field over and over and don't get the ball thrown to you, then all of a sudden you've got to come up with a big catch. That puts a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah, it never broke my heart when they decided to take me out on third down. A lot of pass routes gone unrewarded, unrequited pass routes.
Sanders did not play at all in the first half. So it's a first down on the 32-yard line of the Raiders. Harry Conklin hands off to Irvins. That's a yard. Doug Reed on the tackle for the Raiders. Redskins with 2 interceptions on consecutive plays, both by Martin Mayhew. Jay Schrader threw 2 interceptions resulting in scores. The Redskins led 14-0. And then 21-7 at halftime, stretched the lead on Chip Lohmiller's field goal to 24-7. But Todd Marinovich has brought the Raiders back. Marcus Allen with a touchdown run, and Sam Grady on the receiving end of a 25-yard play, and it's a 3-point Redskin lead. Second down and 9. Robert Green has come in the game in the backfield. William and Mary rookie. And for blocking now, and here's a pass which is overthrown. Intended for Sanders, and Torrin Dorn covering on the play.
Makes me wonder if Conklin was really just trying to throw the ball out of bounds or whether it just got away on him, because he really overthrew that ball.
Well, I noticed he was looking at the H-back and telling him, I wanted you to do this, that. So he probably stayed with the H-back a little too long when he saw him running wrong. Then he had to get rid of him.
One of the H-backs, Gary Wilkins, goes out of the game, and Joe Johnson has come in as an extra wide receiver. So there are 3 in there right now. 3rd down and 10. Conklin going deep, and it's caught at the 1-yard line and out of bounds. No. Stephen Hobbs was out of bounds when he came down with it. Sam Seal defending on the play, and Seal had to be careful that he didn't knock him out of bounds. Before his feet came down, he didn't, so it'll go as a long incompletion, and it'll be 4th down.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. This ball's really a little bit underthrown, but the defender, I think, gets a little confused here. And he catches the ball, but he comes down, as you said, Dick, out of bounds. Didn't quite know where he was.
This will be a 48-yard field goal attempt coming up for Lohmiller. He's 1 for 3 today. Rutledge holds. And the kick is good.
Nothing but a chip shot.
So Chip Lohmiller makes good from 48 and 22 yards. Long miss was from 54 yards that hit the post. Redskins have stretched their lead to 27-21 on Chip Lohmiller's second field goal of the game. 11 minutes and 27 seconds to go. Lohmiller getting set to kick off. Terrence Flagler on the left. Stacy Simmons, the other return man, and a booming kick will go out of the end zone, and the Raiders will begin from their 20.
As good as kicker as Chip Lohmiller is, it baffles me why, in the first half, you saw him most of his kickoffs were dropping like on the 15-yard line. Now this one, he kicks clear out of the back of the end zone. That inconsistency kind of makes me wonder. He's got plenty of leg. It's just one of those things, I guess, when you kick off that is an inconsistent endeavor, at least for Chip.
Todd Marinovich, who's 5 for 5 for 80 yards and has led the Raiders back in this game. Keith Willis and George Hinkle are now on the defensive line with Jason Buck and Shane Collins, the rookie from Arizona State, the 2nd-round pick. So a new look on the defensive line for the Redskins. First down from the 20. Marinovich's pass, and hit immediately is Nick Bell out of the backfield, and he makes the catch, good for about 4 yards with Johnny Thomas defending.
Well, this is a classic mismatch here, but it goes the other way, I believe. Nick Bell, what is he, 250, and Thomas can't be a whole lot more than 190, 95 pounds. He turns him around and heads him back towards the Raider goal line.
You know, Johnny is second to Darrell Green in speed on that team. He can really fly. That's why he's so effective on the special teams.
2nd down and 6. Raiders on their 24. Here is Bell trying to go outside, and he'll lose about a couple of yards, bringing up 3rd and long, and the Redskins will bring in their pass defenders. This was Andre Collins, who's in there with Monty Coleman and John Brantley in the linebacking position. They're high on Brantley, who they think could stick on this team as the final linebacker on the club. See if one of the Redskins is shaken up. Clarence Vaughn. Yep, he is. 3rd down and 7 following the loss of 1 yard. Terry Hogue and Alvin Walton in the secondary along with Johnny Thomas. Vaughn came out of the game. He was replaced by Al Boyd Mays. So 3rd down and 7. Marinovich's pass is dropped. He had it. David Jones had it in his hands, right in the seam, and dropped it, and that'll bring up 4th down. But Marinovich's pass was right on the money.
I'll tell you what happened there, I think. Andre Collins was in a direct line with that ball, and actually he was stunned because it went right through his hands. That's a very difficult pass for a receiver to catch once the defenders got between you and the ball. And then I forget what the drill used to be, but they used to practice that. And, you know, in preseason, you'd have a guy stand in front of the ball, they'd throw it, and he'd put his hands up, take him down. It's a very difficult ball to catch.
Joe Johnson goes back deep, and Jeff Gossett will kick for the Raiders. The Redskins will get their hands on the ball again with a 6-point lead. Returnable for Johnson at the 40-yard line. Gets into Raider territory. Breaks the tackle. One man to beat. And he is caught from behind at the 20-yard line by Andre Bruce. That'll bring a smile to the face of Al Davis and Art Shell. Bruce hustling on the play. He caught up with Johnson, who was headed for the end zone, but a return of 39 yards sets the Redskins up.
Well, you got a great defensive player like Andre Bruce, who for the last 4 or 5 years have not did what he was supposed to do at Atlanta, and he comes here, moved to defensive end, has been a great defensive player for them this summer. That was a good play from a real hustle.
Wayne, what about this coverage and return?
Well, we had a right return on, got a great block from John Settle and a great run by Joe Johnson there to get us going. So good field position.
And John Settle is in the game.
For Mayhew, he doesn't know, so let him know.
Okay. John Settle is in the game at running back. Gets by one defender, fumbles the ball. Let's see if the Raiders recovered. Apparently they do. It's Raider ball. So Settle with a fine block on the previous return by Joe Johnson, and then he coughs it up to give the Raiders the ball back. Unfortunate. Dave Waymer caused the fumble. And it's Raider ball when we come back. Right here is the first turnover of the game by the Redskins, John.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate because Settle actually makes a good run here. He avoids two Los Angeles Raiders, slips between them, breaks it to the outside. But right there, he's got the ball, as Bobby and I were talking earlier, he's got the ball in his wrong hand, and the defender comes up and puts his helmet on it, and that's what happened. And that is just an unfortunate break for John Settle.
Nolan Harrison recovered. Dave Waymer forced it, and the Raiders have the ball on their 22. Todd Marinovich getting big-time pressure and throws the ball away. Coming in strong was Jason Buck on that last play.
Going quickly back to that, to Settle, you know, when John was carrying the ball, John would take that ball from the quarterback and he hold it in both hands. And then when he saw which way it was going, he shifted. And, of course, a lot of running backs can't do that. But that's one way of making sure you have it in the right arm.
Yeah, I was going to say on this play, we can get back to that, Bobby, but Jason Buck almost gets his jersey stripped off of him. You can see it right there now.
Geez.
You don't get it much better than that, guys. Hit from behind on top of it.
Well, referees in the preseason right now.
Second down and 10 at the 22-yard line. And this pass is caught by Hobbs. Darrell Hobbs, and a first down for the Raiders. We have 9:24 remaining in the fourth quarter. Andre Collins made the tackle on the free agent rookie from Pacific.
I'll tell you something. You can't ask the quarterback to do any better than that. Great setup, great vision, strong arm, right in the seam. This young man doing that. Mike White has got to be happy with this young man.
His problems are off the field, and Al Davis said before the game that we have to monitor him because of his problems. We can't just hope that he himself will solve them. He has to be watched closely. He's a problem, more of a problem than they thought. Nick Bell on the handoff. The runaway train powers his way to the 45-yard line, short of a first down by a yard. Monty Coleman and Terry Hogue in on the play.
Yeah, there's just a little draw play here to Bell, and they open up a pretty good crease in here, and that's a pretty big man carrying the ball through there.
Talked about how Dickerson played most of the first half, and now Bell in the heat of the game, when people may be a little fatigued going at you, that's got to be tough for the defense. Second down and 1. An audible apparently called by Marinovich here. Under pressure, gets away and throws incomplete downfield. Pass was intended for Sam Grady. Marinovich is 7 for 10 and 98 yards to this point.
If I was a scout and I was scouting this young man right now, all the kinds of things you'd be able to say about him is just mind-boggling. I mean, to avoid the rush is one of the problems most young quarterbacks have. Field vision, one of the most problems a young quarterback has. He has those things. So you've got to figure that this young man's going to be a great quarterback. But again, if you lose in middle ways this season because of something he's done off the field, that too scares you.
Third down and 1 on the 45-yard line. And Marinovich looked like the Raiders were not clear what they wanted to do formation-wise, and so the Raiders will call a timeout with just under 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. The Redskins are in front 27-21. And we'll take a break as well. Back to the Coliseum after these messages. Two teams who have yet to win a preseason game engaged here in the fourth quarter with just under 8 minutes to go. The Redskins in front 27-21. But Todd Marinovich has certainly made a difference since coming into the game in replace of Jay Schrader, who threw 3 interceptions in the first half, including 2 that resulted in touchdowns, both by Martin Mayhew. It'll be third down and 1. Darrell Hobbs in motion. And the give is to Napoleon McCallum, and he'll have the first down for L.A. McCallum has had a chance to carry the ball in preseason.
Well, you know, it's great to have 2 big guys like that, because you want strength runners when you get into short yardage and down in the red zone. Now, what we've done is we've just let our strength runner go, and Riggs. And, John, I would imagine that the coach feels he can do it real well with the 2 young guys.
Jason Buck is shaken up, gentlemen. I just want to interrupt you. That's you want to talk about depth in the defensive line, and Buck coming off the field, but he's
with
flexing
Eric Williams already out, we have to be real careful there. We can't afford to lose anybody.
Yeah, you see what happens here. There it is. The guy comes down on his leg. Wow.
He's fortunate it wasn't worse.
Yeah. First instinct, he might not want to be stretching as much. He might want to get over and get a bag of ice on it and see what happens. He can actually do more damage. Athlete's first instinct to make sure all the body parts work after you get racked once or twice.
Jumpy Geathers is in the game on the defensive line, and a fumble at the line. Todd Marinovich and a miscommunication with the center. Recovered the ball. It'll be second down and a loss of a yard on the play.
I think it's just a bad center here. Yeah, Marinovich is going out. I think he anticipated his own snap count, and he starts backing out before he gets the ball.
Dan Turk, the center, in the game. Here's Marinovich with a quick release and the completion. Out of bounds inside the 40-yard line by Grady. It's another first down for the Raiders. Johnny Thomas, he's been a busy man, Thomas has, makes the play. Gain of 11.
It's good touch from the quarterback. The ability to go back, see it, and release it with great touch.
Grady caught a touchdown pass wide open for 25 yards. This is this last play to bring the Raiders to within 3. 27-21 right now. The Redskins lead. And Marinovich gets it off to McCallum, and McCallum gets to about the 30-yard line, shy of a first down by about a yard. Once again, Johnny Thomas in on the play with 6:11 remaining in the fourth quarter.
There's almost like a little misdirection play here. Screen pass almost. They let somebody go. And McCallum catches the ball, and what, he makes about 9 yards, I guess, 8-9 yards.
Marinovich is 9 for 12 for 149 yards and a touchdown pass to Sam Grady. Here is 2 41s going at each other. It'll be second down and 1 on the 30-yard line. Just under 6 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Play fake. And Marinovich gets hit as he lets go of it, and it's incomplete. Going for Grady in the end zone, and defending was Terry Hogue, but big pressure put on by the former Pittsburgh Steeler, Keith Willis.
That's what the Redskins like to see. They got to see that pass rush in there, and Willis does a nice job.
Well, Willis is one of those guys who can make a difference on your defensive line, because he has a lot of experience coming in from Pittsburgh Steelers, where he played several years as a starter over there. So he has a lot of experience. And if Eric Williams' injury if it does have longevity, here's a guy who can come in and help you out.
That was a good play to try to go deep. It is 3rd down and 1, and the give is to Nick Bell. He's got a first down. Penalty marker down, however, right about the line of scrimmage. And Bell is finally stopped by Terry Hogue inside the 20, but let's wait to see what the penalty is. Signal is preliminary that it is against the Redskins, so it will stick as a first down for the Raiders.
Offsides on the defense, number 90. The penalty is refused. First down.
That's Shane Collins, 2nd-round pick.
Well, this is basically just a dive play here. Real quick hitter right up the middle, and there is a crease right in there. They do a good job of walling off the Redskins. Good pursuit by Andre Collins. They get Jason Buck to take a step. It was not exactly a sucker play, but they did get him to take a step outside.
First down on the 19, and the quick-looking pass is caught by Grady. Grady dives forward to the 15-yard line. Gain of 4 on first down, so the Redskins' second-half woes continue. They've experienced them in the last 2 games and again today after leading 21-7 at the half. And their lead is in jeopardy right now. The Redskins have lost their 3 games by a total of 4 points, and a Raider touchdown and conversion would put them up by 1 point. So it's the same story. That's if the Raiders get a TD.
Well, what I don't think we've seen today, Dick and Bobby, is the Redskin offense really be dominant like they have been. They haven't put any points on the board.
No explosiveness. No explosiveness.
Well, they didn't get much of a chance in the first half. Marinovich with a fade pattern. It was intended for Grady with Johnny Thomas defending. 4.5 minutes remain. It'll be 3rd down.
Do you think these fans thought maybe there was a little pass interference?
Maybe.
There,
Now, Johnny played that perfect for a defensive back. I'll tell you something. Joe has been complaining the last couple of weeks because he feels that those players he must depend on down the line in the depth of the people who have been letting him lose these games in the second half. And so there is a concern there.
13th play of the drive coming up. 3rd down and 5 from the Redskin 14. Marinovich's pass incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down. It was intended for Grady, and defending was Alvin Walton. Crowd wants the Raiders to go for it. Marinovich looking toward the sideline.
That was a picture book short arm, wasn't it, Bob?
Yeah.
Grady didn't really want that ball.
Timeout called by the Raiders. That will leave them with only 1. So they'll have some time to think about what they're going to do here.
I think Grady wanted to save that blow for the season, John.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a replay here. We can see the ball over the middle, but Grady just kind of flags it with one hand, and that's close as it is. Look at that head.
He was already looking to Walton, huh?
Says,
might as well catch it. You're going to get the blow anyway.
That's all they say. The best, well, I don't know, the best offense, the best defense, but in this case, the best defense, the best offense. I think Alvin Walton's got a reputation around the league.
Does it feel better to make the catch and then hit badly?
So much better. I don't care how hard you get hit. If you caught the football, you can tolerate the blow. But I tell you, it really hurts when you didn't get the ball and you got to take that blow.
Well, the Raiders are going to go for it to the delight of the crowd.
I don't necessarily know if we would see this gamesmanship if this was regular season, guys. It might be a little bit different. There's a lot of time still on the clock.
Current drive, the Raiders have moved 73 yards in 13 plays, have chewed up more than 5 minutes of time, but here it is, 4th down and 5. He has time. Marinovich's pass is caught inside the 5-yard line.
That was a big league pass, I think.
Mike Alexander and Alvin Walton defending. A big play following the timeout.
Actually, I think the Redskins have good coverage here. This is just a matter of some people making the plays here. I think that's Alvin Walton staying on him. But he just missed that little bit of a step, and Marnovich puts the ball out there where the receiver can get to it.
Gain of 12 yards. Alexander from Penn State in his 3rd year, so it's 1st and goal for the Raiders with 3:41 remaining. And here is Bell, powers his way to the 1-yard line. Collins is there. Raiders are poised now to take their first lead of the game if they get the touchdown and the conversion.
Well, actually, this is an ideal situation, I think, for the Redskins. Actually, they're going to get the ball back if the Raiders can get this in. 1 point down, I think it's a great situation for Terry Conklin to come out on the field with.
Redskins have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Two tight ends, and here is Nick Bell. From behind, he is stopped, and he did not cross the line.
Well, there's one thing about your short yardage plays, really, but more so on the goal line. When you have a 1st and goal from about the one or the 2, and you fail to get it in on that first try, and then you don't get it in on the second try, it gets harder for the offense, and the load starts shifting from the offense to the defense. This is a great defensive play here by the Redskins. They just stack it up in the middle. And
Alvin Walton came around to make the stop around Nick Bell. No easy task to get him from going over the goal line. Now it's 3rd down and less than a yard. And Bell is not going to make it on that play. He is stopped short, and that'll bring up 4th down. And Keith Willis that time was the man in the middle.
That's my man.
Well, this is just where they try to power it in the middle, and the Redskins are it's completely stacked up, and there's no place for the ball carrier to go. Walton does a good job, really, of sealing the outside. In a situation like that, if the ball carrier isn't going to go over the top, he's got to bounce it outside.
2-minute warning will give the Raiders a chance to think this one over. Redskins in the goal line stand situation against Nick Bell.
Yeah, I really think here's where the ball carrier just kind of, there's some bad reflexes here. He's got to see right there that there's nothing where he's going with the football. He's got to either bounce it outside or he would have had to go to the right, though. He'd had to go to the right end, but he just kind of decides that there's nothing there and gives up.
Well, here it is, 4th down and less than a yard. Might have lost a little. Let's call it a full yard here.
Well, if I was a bet man, I'd bet on the Redskins defense.
Here's a play-action pass, and it is incomplete. And the Redskins will take over on downs. The pass was intended for McCallum on the fake handoff, and the Redskins, with a staunch goal line defense, will take over on down.
Yeah, I tell you what happens is, and it's great, they get a good pass right there on Marinovich, and he has to keep fading back as he throws the ball, and I think he's throwing it off his heel here. He really, it's just the ball's underthrown. He's got a receiver there. McCollum's wide open. He just doesn't put enough on it.
Terry Hogue with a safety blitz came in on Marinovich, who had to rush his throw. Maybe if he didn't have to rush it, McCallum would have been in better position to get it. So the Redskins maintain their 27-21 lead, have the ball on the 1-yard line with 1:55 remaining. So 18 plays by the Raiders, covered 77 yards, nearly 8 minutes, and they come up empty. John Settle is the running back. Brings it out to the 4-yard line with Conklin still the quarterback. And the Raiders will use their last timeout. Interesting game today in that we have had no quarterback sacks by either side.
Another thing I think that's interesting is that the Redskin offense has hardly been on the field today. I don't know what the proportion is, but it's got to be fairly heavy on the Redskins' time of possession. I mean, the Raiders' time of possession, doesn't it?
If you're Joe Gibbs, you got to be a happy guy. I mean, everything he wanted has happened. He's been involved in a real good football game for the fans. At the same time, he's gotten a chance to put everybody he wants to play into the ball game and get a good look. They'll be able to make their cuts now and feel good about them because they got a chance to see people play.
Well, they got to cut 20 by Tuesday, get down to the 60 mark as we're getting close to Judgment Day. Huh?
Unfortunately, us three is going to be in that cut. This is our last game, guys. I'm already starting to well up with emotion.
Well, this is
I guess until next year, my friend.
This is where discipline will pay off for all 3 of us up here. Huh? Want to thank a few people. Jim Pells with an outstanding job in statistics, and Washington's favorite son, Marty Aronoff, my right-hand man. Good to have you both up here. 2nd down on the 8-yard line. Settle holds on to the ball as he brings it out to the 6. Redskins have run 37 plays today, if you want to talk about the offense, and the Raiders 70 plays.
Wow.
Minute and a half remaining, and all the Redskins want to do is hold on to the ball when they're inside their own 10-yard line. Use up as much time, and if they get a first down, of course, that'll be it. The Raiders are out of timeout.
This actually, if we were in a regular season game, I think, is a very critical play right now. They've got to move this ball out of there. The Raiders will still get the ball with fairly good field position if they have to punt.
3rd down and 5. Showing blitz, and here is Settle. He's going to be stopped short of the first down by Nolan Harrison, who recovered the Settle fumble a few moments ago. He is stopped at the 9-yard line. So the Raiders will get their hands on the ball again. They won't have a lot of time, though, when they do. 40,805 here at the Coliseum today. McCallum goes back deep for the Raiders.
Time, run now!
There you see Wayne Sevier use the clock, and Wayne, they're going to get all the time out of there?
Yeah, we're going to get all the time out of there, then we're going to take a safety after the...
So here's the timeout, and you heard special teams coach Wayne Sevier. What a great luxury it is to be able to have the coaches talk to you during a game, huh? Yeah. Someday, maybe, well.
Well, we just step back into the end zone and come out and punt it. You know, put some back deep, and we can just run it out.
What's great about Wayne is that he's concise. You know, there's a future broadcaster right on the sideline, but he's got a lot of good years of coaching ahead of him before he thinks about that. So you heard him say the Redskins are going to take a safety, and then we'll have to kick the ball. So the safety will make the score 27-23, and then the Raiders will get the ball on a free kick with very little time remaining. Of course, Kelly Goodburn, I guess, could use up some time by running back and forth before he runs out of the end zone. Dave Clark is the snapper. He's the one that bounced it to Goodburn when he was trying to punt from the end zone earlier. See what happens here. We expect safety. And here he is. Going to use up some time. Finally, I give up. And with 8 seconds to go, the score now will be 27-23. Safety adds 2 points to the Raider total, and now basically you're looking at the Raiders having to return this free kick for the score. Otherwise, it's history, and the Redskins have a preseason win under their belts.
Up against the playoff team. I think that the Redskins, as Bobby was saying, I think they'll feel pretty good leaving here today. Although, I'm sure that Coach Gibbs would have liked to have seen a little bit more explosion from his offense. Basically, there was a defense scored all the points today.
Yeah, well, this is what they want to do. Run it out, step out. Now, all they got to do is come up and punt that ball real good. And let's hold them down there, and the game's all over. We've used up the clock.
Notice Kelly hung by the end line. One thing, the last thing you want to do is to fumble the ball and have it recovered for a touchdown. I mean, and
then he can't get on the plane back to Washington.
No. All right, Wayne, on this situation, where are they going to kick the ball to on this free kick?
We're just kicking it away down the middle and trying to get down and cover them. You know, we got...
Kelly Goodburn with the free kick. And, you know, when you talk about why Joe Gibbs and his staff have to be pleased, considering all the thousands of miles that they traveled east to London and 3,000 miles west to Los Angeles can make you fatigued. I know a lot of people had to be. So that's a good result today, considering. Bearcats called for on the 30-yard line by McCallum with 7 seconds to go, and now it's Hail Mary time.
That's what it's got down to.
Wayne, were you, was it severely jet lag when you got back?
That's how I feel about it. I tell you, it was this whole week here, breaking camp and coming back to the West Coast after going to London. I'm going to be glad when this day's over and we get home, and we'll be home for the next 5 weeks, so that's going to be good for us.
But, Wayne, you always have severe jet lag.
Yeah.
The poor guy has helped us out. You had to give him a shot just at the end of the game, John. That's great.
Dick told me to say that.
Oh, no.
Real funny, man.
All right. Thank you very much, Wayne Sevier, for his insights. And it was pretty enlightening. Well, this is it for the Raiders. Marinovich, Hail Mary up for grabs, and the game will be over. Incomplete pass, knocked down by Brad Edwards and the Redskins. After a close call, the Raiders were on the 1-yard line and had a couple of chances to knock it over and take the lead. Couldn't do it. The Redskins goal line defense holds out, and the final score 27-23, Washington.
Well, that's a wrap. And I think that, as Bobby said, the Redskins are going to get on the plane. They're going to fly home. They'll take tomorrow off, and I'm sure they'll come in Monday. They'll look at these game films. They're going to like some of the things that happened out there this afternoon. Some of the things they're not going to be so pleased with. But I think the one thing, and really I don't know how to gauge it, and I'm not sure they're going to know how to gauge it, is because the offense was out there so little, what happened with the offensive line today? There just wasn't enough. I didn't feel there was enough passing going on to feel like the offensive line found itself today.
Yeah, I think that the only thing they can do offensively, in particular on the line, is to look and see what kind of movement the offensive lineman was making. Did they show that they had the feet to get into people in pass pro? Or how did they do in terms of drive blocks and that type of thing? Sure, they were limited, but fortunately, the people they were looking at were the first-year guys and some of the veterans.
All right, guys, I enjoyed it. Thanks very much. It was a fun season of one game with you, and the Redskins win it. And right now, let's go back down to the field to Buck. Steve?
All right, Dick, it was a fun game. Pretty good, intense battle for a preseason contest. And the Redskins, it looked like for a moment they were going to lose again by 1 point. Instead, they win their first. And did you know of the 6 touchdowns scored in this game, 4 of them were on one-play drives. That's right, one-play drives. If you think about the Mayhew interceptions, the Brian Mitchell return, the Marinovich pass for a touchdown. So we'll rehash all of that as many of you join us for the post-game show. Others of you on the network, that'll be it. Thanks for watching us. For Bobby Mitchell, John Riggins, Dick Stockton, I'm Steve Buckhant saying so long from the LA Coliseum in Los Angeles, California. Once again, the final score, the Redskins 27 and the Raiders 23.
Today's Redskins versus Raiders preseason game has been brought to you in parts by Hefty. Our new strength is value. By Nestea Iced Tea. By the Washington Post. The Washington Post. If you don't get it, you don't get it. And by Nissan, setting the pace.